folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Things are changing. Things are changing today. I would say from this point forward, we're going to see some things going on. I did not watch the debate last night. I'm sure many of you did, and probably a lot of you didn't. But I didn't. I have seen a lot of the highlights, okay? Honestly, I was busy and kind of forgot all about it. And then once I realized it was the debate, not that I cared much, it was pretty much over, and I had no real intentions of watching it anyways. But the point is that it was a huge failure for Joe Biden. Not that that's a big surprise to a lot of us, right? We all knew that the guy's he's old, he's senile, he has no business doing what he's doing. And so he showed a pretty bad showing. Now, try not to get in any kind of real political slant on this, because most of you, I think, kind of realize that it's all a big game anyways. But and that's the thing. We've been wondering at what point were they going to try to put someone different in, what was going to happen, how many times have we thought, oh, maybe, he's going to get some illness, or, all this kind of stuff. Well, I think that this is the beginning of the end, very possibly. And we're going to see some stuff happen to probably shift around and maybe get him out of office. But there's also another possibility that we should be aware of. It's possible that old Joe Biden and his handlers will try to do something here in the near future to distract the world, distract America from the debate and how bad he did. And it could end up being some kind of big war. There's all kinds of things that could happen that could distract if they are dead set on keeping Joe Biden in power. So it's hard to say. And honestly, in the end, I don't care. I don't think that it has a whole lot to directly affect us. I mean, there are some things the president can affect and has effect on just us individuals, but in the end, we all know that this country is going in one particular direction, and it's downward. And at this point, I don't believe it matters a whole lot who's in power. What matters is how it's being directed into a crash, because that's exactly what's happening. The system is crashing. We need someone that can, direct it to the softest landing possible. Maybe that is Donald Trump. Maybe that's the one. But good and well that if Donald Trump is not part of the system, if he's not, another big distraction kind of thing, then they're going to do everything they can to keep him from getting into power, which at this point, it could be crazy for that to happen. Of course, the other argument is that maybe Donald Trump is just as much of a bought and paid for shill like the rest of them. Although there's not a ton of evidence for that, I'll admit. Bottom line is that a lot of the country woke up last night, I guess, from the way it sounds. Even CNN, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, all of the far lefties, the water carriers for the Democrats were out there talking about how Joe Biden is done, he's toast, it's over, it was really bad, that the whole Democrat Party is in this panic of what to do now and how to get Joe Biden out. In fact, last night I saw some posts that it was already within, Democrat circles, it was already being discussed, the 25th Amendment, removing him because of mental incapacity or whatever. And there's a lot of questions. Who's the next one? I mean, could it be Michelle? Could it be Gavin? Could it be Hillary or just someone else? I don't know. I don't really know that it matters so much. They're going to put someone out there that they can control, and that's energetic enough to gather their people. I think probably I'm leaning towards Gavin Newsom myself. I think because Hillary is probably not the one that can be controlled. Comes with a lot of baggage. Mike Obama, I don't know. I know a lot of people would like that, but I think it's Gavin Newsom. But I could be wrong. I think that you and I need to understand that this is just one more signal, one more puzzle piece showing that things are progressing, okay? All of the stuff that we've talked about for the last few years, it's all happening in real time right before our eyes. And I think sometimes it's difficult for, and this is just human beings. It's difficult sometimes for human beings to process that while it's happening. You know, you can be prepared, you can talk about it, but then once it's actually happening, it's difficult for humans sometimes to process that. You know, like going through an emergency, you've taken, you know, CPR classes and all of these types of classes, and then your spouse falls over with a heart attack, stops breathing and everything, and you're in this shock, and you're trying to pull yourself together, and you don't remember how to do things, and you don't know what to do because it's this panic and shock. That's actually pretty normal. That's why we train. You know, that's why folks like myself and many of you I'm training constantly, so that that muscle memory, that it's embedded in your brain so much that you don't do that. You don't choke. You don't forget. Well, we've talked about for years of all of these events that's happening to move us towards this new world order. And now it's actually happening in real time. And I think a lot of people, even preppers, that they're kind of shell-shocked. They're kind of caught off guard. They thought they were ready and they're not. And they're just kind of in this daze, like, what is going on? I didn't know it was this close. Or they're in this denial period of like, well, you know, yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet. I mean, I think we've got a few more years or a couple of decades. I think it's okay. We need to wake up and realize that this moment right now and the moments moving forward, these are the times that we've trained for. This is what we've been prepping for. And have we reached that falling off the cliff moment? Probably not yet, but we don't want to wait till that point to actually go into action. We want to be ahead of the curve. That's part of being a prepper. It's not just having stuff, but kind of being ahead of the curve. And we're watching all these events happen in real time right now. And you know, the wars that are going on, the economy that's happening, that, you know, all these predictions that, well, yeah, by the end of the year the economy is going to collapse. You know, the Federal Reserve is running scenarios on how many banks will collapse, you know, and all this kind of stuff. The JP Morgan Chase said yesterday that test that the Federal Reserve ran, that their numbers were off, and it's going to be a lot worse than what they were predicting. All of this stuff is not happening right before our eyes for nothing. It's all part of the plan, and it's all indicators that the end is coming closer and closer. And so don't sit there with kind of this glazed over deer in the headlights because you're shocked at what's going on, even though you've been planning for this for years. Stay ahead of everything and keep yourselves prepared and keep ready and start going over stuff and you know, retraining yourself or brushing up on things, because that's what you do. You know, a soldier trains often, right? They train often, but once they get to a point that they're trained, then they just kind of work and they train, you know, ever so often. But then when they get the word, or that they know, or that they have a good idea that they may get deployed to some type of combat scenario or some type of battlefield scenario, war, whatever, what do? Do they just keep doing the same thing they've been doing? No, they shift gears, they start training, they start hitting things hard, they're brushing up, they're going through their gear, they're making everything's, it's good, they're equipment checking it and everything. Well, that's exactly what we should be doing. We're out of that phase where we're prepping, we're kind of keeping an eye on things, we realize things are getting bad. Now it's starting to all come together. And we have to get to the point on a very regular basis where we are in that, getting ready kind of stage. We're not just, sorry, this is one of the worst spots in the road. We're not working to get prepared. We're working to get into a state of readiness, which is different. And so, training, brushing up on your skills, kind of, visiting things, whether it's medical stuff or defense or whatever your plan is, pull it out, talk to your spouse, go over with your family, with your tribe, your mag, your team, whatever, and perfect it as best as possible. Top off on your preps, go through things, inspect things, inventory things. This is the kind of stuff that we need to be doing right now, because things are going to start changing. It was just days ago that the media and all the left were, oh, Joe Biden's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he's so strong and brilliant, and he's the hardest working, fastest, blah, blah, blah. Now they're like, this guy's got to go. I mean, they're even talking about the 25th Amendment. Things are changing. And it's quite possible that from this point forward, it could just be a big old whirlwind of change. And we need to brace ourselves and get ready for it. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order, to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.